In the year 1980, when my wife conceived, then I informed Bhagavan Baba and said, yeah, I know, I'll take care of your child, don't worry, he said. And then when she was through pregnancy and it was 7th month, one fine morning, Bhagavan Baba came to me. He used to talk to me every day, giving interviews and all. He came to me and said, you know, it is 7th month now, he said. I got a shock, I got up and I said, I don't know, Swami. He said, yeah, I know you don't know. You don't bother about anything in this world, I know. It is 7th month now, we have to send her for delivery to her native place, because I don't have as yet a good hospital here. I have a small hospital there and we don't have such facilities, so we have to send her to Thanuku. You don't worry, I will make all necessary arrangements, he says. I was shocked. And next day he called Kutumbarao. I was sitting in the veranda and he told Kutumbarao, find out from ashram right now people who are going to Thanuku. If there are any people going to Thanuku, ask them to assemble near your office. Find out who are the people who can really take this lady safely to Thanuku, deposit her in her father's house and report back to me. So he looked at me and said, Kutumbarao will take care. Then what happened, next day some names were forwarded to him. He selected some people and said, these are the people who are going to take Gangadhar Shastri's wife to Thanuku. He came to me and said, I selected some people, they are going to take her to Thanuku and they will take care of her. Okay, is it okay with you? I said. Then I gathered some courage and got up and said, Swami, if you kindly permit me, I will also go and drop her there and come. Then he looked at me and said, not necessary, sit down, he said. I said, thank you, Swami, I said. Then he made the arrangement, and then the surprising shot was next day, when they were to go, he came to me and said, you want to go? He said, if you permit me, I will go, I said. Go up to Dharmavaram, put her on the train and come back, he said. I said, thank you very much. So I went up to Dharmavaram, put them on the train and came back. And then she went there. And a few days before delivery, one fine morning, Swami told me, you are going to be blessed with a girl. I said, okay, Swami, whatever it is. Then what happened was, on 23rd of January 1980, my daughter was born and I got a telegram. So I went back Mandir and I showed the telegram to Swami. I said, నాకు టెలిగ్రామ్ చూపిస్తావు నేను చెప్పాను కదా నీకు he said. I told you already, why do you show this telegram to me? I know it long back, he said. I said, okay, Swami. Then, you want to go and see the kid? He asked me. Yes, Swami said. Not necessary, sit down, he said. I said, okay. I sat in the veranda. And every day I go, sit there, and he comes to me and says, Yebi, Bhari Karaloki vachinda. Are you getting your wife in your dream? Swami, లేదు Swami. Don't try to play tricks with me. Yes, you see her, but sit down. Okay, sit down, he says. 1 week over, 2 weeks over, 3 weeks got over, and in between, sometimes he comes to me and says, do you want to go and see your daughter? Yes, Swami. Not necessary. Sit down. Every time not necessary. First month over, second month over, third month over, fourth month over, fifth month it was. I was sitting in the veranda. Amy, one day I was sitting with my head down, and he came and sat in front of me, and he patted me on my head. I lifted up my head and, Swami, are you thinking of Swami or Ane? Hell. I said, I'm thinking of you only, Swami. I know, I make you think of me. It is 5 months. I did not permit you to go and see her. So he said, tomorrow you go. I said, yes, Swami. You go tomorrow and bring your wife and daughter here. Okay, are you happy? He said, no, Swami, it's all right. I'll go and bring them here. He walked a few steps and rushed back towards me and said, I forgot to tell you something very important. As you go there, those people are going to insist on naming function, that function, this function. We have actually a function called Barasala, which is very traditional, very important. So they will ask you to perform that function. You are not performing any function there. You are just bringing back your wife and daughter here. That's all. I was a bit shocked. Because being a traditional Brahmin, I wanted Barasala and naming ceremony and all. My father, my mother, my brothers, everybody will be there. I said, what is this Swami saying like this? And I realized Swami could read your thoughts also. That was probably the first time I experienced it, because he looked at me and said, Amy, what are you thinking? You are thinking that your parents will be there, your father-in-law will be there, everybody will be there, there will be a big function and all that. Do you think it is greater compared to Swami giving a name? I said, Swami, I am not aware, Swami, I don't know. because I was a slow catcher of things. So I never caught all these things. Gangadhar, look at that side, he said. I look toward the devotees. That side gents, that side ladies. Do you know how many people are there without names? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years there are children sitting there. They don't have names because they are begging Swami to give them names. Till today I did not name them. They are nameless. They call themselves Sai Ram. They just call them. Here I am offering. I am telling you that I am going to name the kid. I will perform all functions here in Prashanta Nilayam. And you are dodging? I said, no Swami, I don't know. Don't know. Keep quiet. Bring them here and just do that. I said, okay Swami, I'll do that. Then I went my home. When I went to my house, my father and mother were having some discussions, I think. Actually, I am from an upper middle class family where my father was having a lot of financial problems as well. So, I went there and my father asked me, are you planning to have some barsala like that or so? I said, why Dad? Is there any problem? He said, if you want to have barsala naming function and all that, he brought a silver plate and gave it to me and said, you can sell this in the market. With whatever money you get, you can perform your function. I said, no Dad, I think Bhagavan Baba knew this and he prevented this. When he came back, rushed and told me on that day, don't think of this. I am going to do it here. So I was really pleasantly surprised, Swami. You are saving my parents also from an embarrassing situation here. What a kind of grace it is that you are showering on me. So that got over. I came here. And then I was, as soon as I came next day, I went to Kutumragar and I requested him, sir, I want to stand with my daughter near the Shautaram gate. Generally that was the practice in those days. If you want something, stand with your kid there. If he was gracious, he would call and name the kid. Otherwise, after darshan, go back. So I went there. Kutumragar was so gracious to me because he knew how close I was to Swami, or Swami was loving me so much. So Kutumragar permitted me. I stood there. Swami came, gave a smile and went off. I said, what is this? You told me to come, bring my daughter and all that. You wanted name and all that. Now you just give me a smile and go away like this. So evening I went, I stood there. Another smile. A mischievous smile he gives, he like this and goes off. So second day morning, evening, 2 more smiles. Third day again, 2 more smiles. On the 4th day, he came, he stopped by my side. I was looking for you there with your daughter. I said, Swami, 3 days I stood there and you ignored me. Arey, today I wanted to call you and give your daughter a name. And now you are not there. Swami, my daughter is there, Swami, I said, showing toward the lady's side. I said, where? He said, Swami, my wife is sitting there with my daughter there. I will call them, Swami. So you are sitting here and seeing your wife, not waiting for Swami. He said, Swami, not that Swami, I know she is sitting there. He said, no, you are sitting here and looking at your wife and daughter, okay? Okay, I will do it later. And he went off. So he used to play with me. He went on and on playing. Every day he used to crack jokes and somehow or other putting me into that, pulling me out of that, cracking jokes. All that was going on. One fine morning I was sitting on the slope. After finishing darshan on the gent side, he just waved his hand like this. When he waved his hand like this, something flew from his hand and it was rushing towards me. I caught hold of it. That was a small sugar candy. He looked at me and said, where is your father-in-law? He asked. I said, Swami, he is not right now maintaining good health. They are taking him to Bombay for treatment. Then Swami walked towards me and said, you know more than me, he said. I said, Swami, no, Swami, that's what the information I got, I said. Tomorrow morning he is coming here, he said. I got a shock. I said, tomorrow morning he is coming. He is 90, bedridden, he cannot get up and stand and walk. My brothers-in-law were taking him to hospital by stretchers. I said, how is he coming all the way from that place to this place? I was wondering, tomorrow he is coming. You will see him, okay? And he walked away. I said, what is he talking? I went home and I told him, there were no telephones and all that in those days. And next day morning also I went and sat in the veranda and Swami looked at me and said, your father-in-law is coming today. I said, what is he coming? I don't have any message, no call, nothing. And he was in bedridden completely. He cannot move from his bed. And at 11 o'clock I get a telegram. saying that Vishweshwar Rao reaching Parthi by 2 o'clock. I was really shocked. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock he came, and I was living in C floor, West 3 block, the first block. We physically carried him upstairs. And then next day he called us for interview, and when we went inside, he took my first daughter onto his lap. He said, Gangadhar, yesterday I did Annaprasana, but I'm not very happy. I want to do it once again. Do I have your permission? I said, Swami, what are you talking? You need anybody's permission to do anything. This one aspect of Swami always really almost put me down, finished me off, I tell you. Swami was so polite and so humble. He was so down to earth, I tell you. Whenever he spoke to some people, I think it is good if you do like this. He never asked anybody to do anything. And whenever he asked somebody to do something, he said, kindly do me this favor. I used to wonder and tell Swami, I told one day Swami, how can you say kindly you do this? You can command. And he said, how can I command, Bangaru? You are all actually on your own. And you are all my devotees. I can't command you. You will do it if you have the devotion for Bhagavan Baba. I give you an opportunity. It is up to you to utilize or not to utilize. So I was sitting close to him, and then Swami looked at me and said, Gangadhar, yesterday I did Annaprasana to your daughter in the lines, but I'm not very happy about it. I want to do it once again. Is it okay with you? Lord plays games with you, and as if he were asking my permission, I looked at him and said, Swami, it is the child's great good fortune, and it is a great blessing on all of us. So Swami immediately materialized a sugar candy, started feeding her, and started talking to us. He was such a very great democrat. So whenever I saw him interacting with so many devotees, every time he would ask the devotee, first of all, do you permit me to do this? He says. Then the devotee gets shocked, first of all. Swami, you seek my permission. He says, yeah, there is nothing wrong in seeking your permission. If you like it, I will do it. If you don't like, I don't want to do that. He was almost down to, even with kindergarten school children also he was like that. With our primary school children also he was like that. With the top class officials he was like that. The rulers of the country, President of India, Prime Minister, whenever they visited, he was like that. That kind of, whatever he said, Divyatma Swarupa's treatment to each and every person, considering everybody is an embodiment of Atma, that was very much visible in his day-to-day life. And once Swami declared actually, from the dais itself, when he was giving a discourse, he was talking in Sai Kulwant Hall. It was not there in those days, but he was giving a discourse and said, see, when people try to teach, they should never forget that you should be practicing it before preaching it. If you are not practicing, you don't have any moral right or any other right to teach it. I think, Bhagavan Baba said, I think I am the only one who has got a right to teach anybody anything I wish, because I practice a perfect life. It was really a fantastic statement which has to be understood very carefully by people. And he asked me, do you want to add any name to the name which I want to give? Either prefix or suffix. Swami, no Swami. Do you have any name in your mind? Do you want me to give your mother's name, your grandmother's name, or any name like that? No Swami, it is absolutely your choice. He didn't stop there. He asked my wife, do you? He asked my father-in-law, mother-in-law, my brothers-in-law. Everybody in the room he asked. Everybody said, Swami, absolutely your choice. Swami, we don't have anything like that. He was immensely pleased and he started reciting Mantra Pushpam. And then in the Mantra Pushpam, actually at one point we say Vidyullekhe Nabhashwaraha. He chanted Mantra Pushpam up to that point and suddenly stopped there. Vidyullekhe Nabhashwaraha Nevara Sukhavattanvi Pitabha Swatyanopama. It goes like that. Vidyullekhe. From here I am picking up the word and giving her name, Vidyullata. And then he asked me, do you know what is the meaning? I said, yes, Swami, it is a streak of lightning. When we find lightning in your daughter is going to be like that. She doesn't require a teacher. Ekasantha Grahi. Once you teach, just she catches. She'll be brilliant in her studies and all that. I said, thank you so much, Swami. He materialized a locket and gave her. And the interview was fantastic. He blessed all of us. Then we all came out. And after 2-3 days, or 4-5 days or so, that locket was lost. When the locket was lost, I wrote a letter to Swami and I sent it to him. And we were all sitting on the sands in those days. I was sitting on the right side near Krishna statue. We used to sit there with all the students. So I used to sit in the front line. All the students were all sitting behind. And Swami came, he looked at me and said, irresponsible, he said. Then I put my head down. And then Swami said, Sigledu, Buddhiledu, sense ledu. I don't know why you behave so casually. You should be serious. Swami is doing things for you. And he was scolding and scolding. And all the students and teachers were watching, so I put my head down. When I put my head down, he looked at me and said, Enduku, why are you putting your head down? Lift it up, he said. I said, listen to me when I'm scolding you, okay? He said. I said, okay, Swami. He always liked it. He wanted to admonish people in public. So that what happens, you get the message stronger and there are possibilities of people changing much faster. So that you don't expect something like that, you don't invite it again. So he said, you lost a locket which is given by Swami for your daughter, he said. I said, Swami, I don't know, Swami, how it happened. I said, okay, don't worry, he said. Then he walked toward the devotees. In L form they used to sit, in an L shape. So he went up to the corner, almost gents' side. He turned back towards me and said, come here. I rushed to him. He just waved his hand like this and took it out and said, this is dropped somewhere there. I brought it back here for you. At least now keep it safe, he said. I said, thank you very much, Swami.